You see, a little over a decade ago, when I first started working as a children's counselor in a family violence intervention clinic, my clients would come to me in the middle of extremely stressful experiences. They would have just lost someone close to them, or several people. They would have lost their homes, their financial situation would be up in the air. So naturally, they'd be very stressed. And when they came in to see me in my session, they'd be crying, shaking, shutting down, and they'd be in no mindset to have conversations with me. But something would happen in those first sessions, and by the end, they would be calmer, much calmer, to the extent that they'd be talking with me about things and making plans for next steps. And I wondered what I was doing that was so helpful, because it probably wasn't the conversations that I was trying to have or the information that I was providing them, although it did have a lot of impact too, those things. But what I realized was that I was actually absorbing their stress. And we all have this beautiful capacity to feel, to sense the pain and the joy of the people around us. So if you take nothing from this video, just take this. There's a lot of self-benefit in making sure that we're contributing to the health and happiness of people around us. Maybe as much as we're working on our own health, because when we sense through our nervous system these emotions that others are experiencing, we feel them, our organism experiences them as if we were experiencing them ourselves. So they become our emotions. And that was the case with me, and their pain was becoming my pain, but my organism, my nervous system, was activating some mechanisms to turn that stress off, and I was calming myself down. And my clients were sensing my calmness and maybe even mimicking some of the things that I was doing, and they were calming themselves also. And from that extremely high activation of their stress response, within the span of an hour, maybe 45 minutes, they were calming down enough to have conversations with me, to listen to the information that I was providing them. And that's a huge thing, because imagine all the needless suffering around the world. And the reason that suffering continues is most of the time our stress response system is constantly getting activated and reactivated. And so we do very irrational, very impulsive things. We become selfish and uncaring and really tunnel visioned, and we don't see the big picture. We don't even care about the future many of the times. We just care about getting through the now and hoarding resources to ourselves even when we don't need it. So these are all part of this survival mode that happens in our body when the stress response system is overactivated. And to imagine that we hold the key to turn that off in our bodies, it was huge for me. So the last 10 years I've been exploring the most effective ways to implement these movements and these sounding practices, breathing practices. And that's how ROMChi Energy Meditation System was born. It's got a lot of input, a lot of wisdom from my ethnic heritage as a Eastern woman. I researched into the healing arts of the East, But I also have a lot of wisdom from people like Peter Levin, Ida Rolf, and artists like Martha Graham, Isadora Duncan, and the really wonderful theory of Stephen Porges about how all these clinical and experiential tools that have come to us from various resources that seem to work tie into the science of our neurobiology. And so ROMChi Energy Meditation combines all of these things through the lens of my clinical experience of this last decade. Now, of course, it's a long time, and I've had a lot of ideas to develop. Right now, you have just the first two coming out, and the rest is going to come out with your contributions to these courses that I offer in various formats, and I'm really looking forward to sharing those with you as well. Check out the ROMChi Med, which is step number 1, and it's all about these very gentle, targeted and sequential stretches that can be implemented between a minute or however long you want to implement them by mixing them up with each other. But the protocols that I offer are less than a minute each, so very quick and very effective resources, and they're focused on just helping you understand the incredible power you have inside you. Really, to appreciate that is the first step, to really become able to trust your body to heal you, and to be able to connect to your inner energy and to manipulate that energy to connect with others. Then it also helps you, the ROMChi Med system, helps you expand your range of motion, both physically in space and your range of motion cognitively in the landscape of ideas. For example, you might think that being a serious and reliable and intellectual person omits the possibility that you might actually enjoy letting loose and dancing around every day with abandon. And they can exist together. I like to believe that I'm a good example of that. So that ability to bring those two things together requires a lot of cognitive flexibility, range of motion. So the ROMChi Med system is all about improving these. And then as you grow, as you feel you want to move on forward, you can move on to ROMChi Hit, which is all about creativity, and it's very, very less structured and much more improvisational. And it's about community. We literally have a party in ROMChi Hit. It's not in the format of a therapy session or one-on-one interaction. It's really a group experience that's got live music with specific rhythms to facilitate and boost your healing experience. And it's a high intensity interval training experience, so it's exercise, and it improves your metabolism, immune system, and cognitive health. So whichever one you choose, feel that is good for you, enjoy, and your contributions to these courses will go toward improving and creating more courses, because in the course of 10 years I have developed a lot of ideas about what kind of practices will help really improve our health and well-being in the world as communities. And if you're not interested in any of these courses, so sign up to the mailing list and keep in touch so you get to learn about the upcoming courses that will hopefully come up really soon. And if you're not interested in anything that I'm offering with ROMChi System, that's fine too. Just keep on moving as much as you can and dance, because dance is medicine, literally. And really, this medicine the world needs a lot of. So thank you for listening, and let's meet. Let's enjoy this system together.